Uh-oh, I think this means I'm on. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, beautiful people. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. Welcome to LoveBabz, Love Talk. It is gorgeous outside. It is bright and sunny. So I'm running a little late because I had to do my cinnamon spell casting for the first day of the month. It is October 1st. So many things happening on this day. Happy 10-year anniversary to Markeisha Ricks, who rolled into New Haven 10 years ago. And she is celebrating. Actually, it was September 27th, but she posted up her reel. So if you follow Markeisha Ricks on Instagram, you'll see a wonderful reel of some of the wonderful things and people of New Haven that she loves and adores. 17 years ago, I turned myself into federal prison camp. 29 days later, I walked out. Today, I go and stand with and speak for my son who is being sentenced in federal court this afternoon, and must deal with that. And then the Arts Council annual meeting is this evening at the Eli Whitney Bard. Long Wharf Theater meeting is this afternoon, but I'm not going to that. I'm going to the annual meeting because today I get to pass the torch to a new chair of the board. And let me tell you, I'm excited and delighted to do it. It has been my pleasure to serve. It's been my absolute honor to help shepherd in this iteration of the Arts Council. And I loved every minute of it. I still be on the board, but I will not be the leader of the board. But I'm always there, and I'm always happy to help and lend support to whatever we got going on. So today is a day. Last night I was up at CUNY for a conversation with uh, Professor Foreman, Dwayne Betts, and Cassandra Seen. What is her last name? I mean, they were all amazing people. I didn't bring the books in the house because they're in the car because I drove to CUNY Law School in Queens. And, although it's an hour 30, but the traffic and the construction, it's a 2-hour, 10-minute ride. And I left here yesterday and I had to make a couple of stops. But I got there and Earl Bloodworth was up there. We got there around the same time. But somehow, and he got home the same time I did, but I left before him. So I don't know. I must have taken a long way home or something. Anyway, I got home. He's home. He's taking the LSAT today. So good luck, Earl. October is a lucky month, just FYI. October is it's a lucky month and it's a contrary month. So it can be two things at once. It's a paradox for me. It could be a month of silence and a month of joy. And I think October is what Zora Neale Hurston meant when she said some years ask questions and some years are answers. October is that. Some Octobers are questions, some Octobers are answers. I didn't realize that until just now. And when I think about my Octobers, the birth and death of my mother, the birth and death of my brother, marriage, children, adoptions, all the things, divorce, all the things. Although divorce didn't happen in October, but the marriage happened in October, which was good. So, but anyway, I was up at CUNY last night, and they were talking about um, uh, Professor Foreman's new book that he edited with two other authors and lawyers. So yeah, so I was holding on to this. Although I'm gonna tell you, that is a hike, man. So I mean, I went to CUNY Baruch for grad school. I don't know if I could take I don't 2 days a week or whatever, however many days I gotta go up there would be a lot. you know. It would be a lot. But it's so economical. It's probably the most economical law school. And they graduate more public interest lawyers than any school in the country. Oh, you know. So staying on my list, but gosh, last night that drive was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. But you can't beat you can't beat this tuition. You just can't beat it. And you know, it's a lot. So I have to figure this out. But I got time because I'm taking the LSAT tomorrow. I'll take it tomorrow. Again, it's my third go around. I think I'll be fine though. I'm gonna go into it being fine. That's all I could do. I'm gonna go into it being fine. And we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. So anyway, this is October 1st. It's it feels good. It's beautiful outside. I stepped outside to do my cinnamon spell, to blow cinnamon into the house for abundance of good things. And it's really nice. So it's been nice to step outside and see that bright day. So anyway, so we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We are doing all right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Earl's taking it today. I'm taking it tomorrow. We'll make our way in the world. And I'll be in somebody's law school. I get my scores back in October. So I think they'll be fine. I'm leaning in on this October. Some years ask questions, some Octobers ask questions, some Octobers give answers. So yeah, it's a lot going on, baby. It's a lot. It's a lot. So anyway, let me see what's going on in the news. Let's see what we got going on in New Haven. I just pulled up the Independent, and thanks to Reed for riding shotgun while Harry's somewhere riding donkeys into the Grand Canyon. I don't think Harry's on a donkey he's in the Grand Canyon. I don't think he's on a donkey. Although, he might be courageous. Harry has his moments. I don't think he's on a donkey or a horse. I doubt that. But it could be. It could be. So I feel every bit of this. I went to bed as soon as I got home. I slept hard. I had some really wild dreams. And then I went back to sleep, turned the TV on early this morning just to have it on in the background. And now I'm up. I'm up doing all the things. So it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. So anyway, what is going on in the neighborhood? Yale City launch a quantum leap. I didn't read the story, so I don't know what is happening. So they must be building something at the Upper Science Hill groundbreaking. There's the new prez, Maury McInnes, with Governor Ned Lamont. So I'm not in those the Yale loop circles like that. So I've not met her. I've not been. I haven't had access to her in private settings. I'm not in that upper echelon loop, But I'm sure I'll run into her at something. I'll run into her at something. Uh, so I don't know what they're building over there, and but we'll read about it uh, on the New Haven Independent, whatever Quantum Leap is. I don't know. They're doing a lot of work at the Div School. They're building a bio campus over there, biodiversity something or other. So, so that's one thing. There was rallies yesterday for schools, uh, and I caught some of it on the news yesterday. So teachers, students, anybody that cares about schools, funding of schools. So they had a big rally yesterday, the union, everything. And I caught some of it on the news. But there's a piece up on the New Haven Independent by Laura Glesby. And I really like the writing of Laura Glesby. I really enjoy the way she comes to stories. I'm such a fangirl. So that was good. So if you want to know more about what's going on, Yale Cabaret is back. Okay. I have never been to the Yale Cabaret. I'm almost embarrassed to say that. I lived in this city. This is my city, but I've never gone to Yale Cabaret. And I think the only reason why I haven't gone is because one, I'm not on their radar, so I don't get the Yale Cabaret emails and any of that stuff. And then when I finally hear about something at the cabaret, it's always at a competing time of another event. I know it seems ridiculous to say that over like a thousand years, but I've not gone to, and people are like, "You haven't gone?" No. So I'm gonna put this on my radar to make my way to at least two cabaret shows and catch it. And I understand they have food and beer at their shows, food and liquor. So I'm gonna make my way over there this year, and I'll see if I can't get them to come on or something or other. So. So they've got a season of shows coming up, and it's the 24-25th season, and it's let's see, oh, so the theater has died and been reborn 55 times. That's fine. Listen, as long as they got space to keep doing it, and all of them are the team this year are in their third year at the David Geffen School of Drama. So, okay, listen, they got a place to do the things that they want to do. They got a little money. They're gonna kick it off. So they kicked off season 57 on September 12th. So I missed that with the contemporary comedy Seven Methods of Killing Kylie Jenner, a two-person and multi-tweeter play. All right, so that's that. And then I think the next up, October 3rd through the 5th, oh, I'm probably going to miss this. Boxa, inventive and creative collaboration by two second-year actors in the program, Amrith Jayan and Darius Saku Walker. Describes Boska as a psychological thriller meets clown show. So I think I'm going to miss that one because of timing. And then the third one, which I might be able to make October 10th through the 12th, is this is their third show, Herencia Inheritance, a challenging collaboration among the members of El Colectivo, the Latinx affinity group at DGSDY, and a multilingual community that embraces the full spectrum of Latinidad, entering the diversity of the Latinx experience while fostering connections across a large and complex diaspora. Okay, I'm here for it. So, anyway, in Herencia, which poses the question of how to carry forward the story of ancestors, and using stories shared by a 10-person cast and recreating aspects of their heritage and the stories of their ancestors that still live on. So I might be able to catch the 10th through the 12th. And then yeah. So the seasons are Thursday through Saturday, 8 and 11. So they do two shows on Fridays and Saturdays. And then, you know, and then they they used to do matinees. They don't do them anymore. So they got full dinners serving at 6:30 for the 8 o'clock show, including wine, beer, and prefab cocktails. And then the latter shows a selection of drinks and snacks. Okay, Chef Kendall Thigpen, whose career in New Haven has touched down in some premier spots, including the Heirloom at the Study, Firehouse 12 Ordinary, Metja, becoming head chef at the Anchor Spa, returns with his delectable and creatively curated menu. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna keep that in my mind for the 10th, because that's next week, and I think next week looks way better than this week. Because this week is a run for my money, let me tell you. Uh, it's a real run. Tomorrow I got Jameson Davis on. He's gonna come and talk about the African American Society Club, and I'm delighted to have him on to talk about this, because we keep running into each other, and I keep threatening to have him on. So we have a date tomorrow. So he'll be here at 9:15, which will be lovely. So Doreen, I'll be on time. Or I won't, but he'll be here at 9:15. And let's see what else is going on. And then Friday is probably the easiest day. And then Saturday, all the dressing up begins again. Lit Fest at 11 to 5, which I'll be there right at the beginning. And then Divided Loyalty red carpet at 6 at the Boathouse. I will be on the red carpet at like 5, probably 5:30 or so, till about 7. And then I'll make my way to the GST Gala, uh, the 65th Gala, Delta Sigma Theta New Haven Alumni Chapter Gala, Saturday night. And then Sunday, um, hanging with my besties, and then next week will be a much easier vibe. all all the rushing around of this week will not be the rushing around next week. I'll be able to catch my breath, which will be nice. Some weeks you just got to run with the wolves. This is a week you run with the wolves. Some weeks you just got to run with the wolves. That's it. And then some weeks you're slow rolling with the turtles. So I think next week uh is uh is slow rolling with the turtles. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going with. I'm a slow roll with the turtles next week. But right now, I'm with the wolves. You know, you know. Slow rolling with the wolves. Slow rolling with the turtles next week. Running with the wolves this week. And that's uh that's where we are. So anyway. Um Last night they had some good Middle Eastern food. Some good Middle Eastern food. And that was delicious. And I even had a little glass of wine. But I had to bounce, so I had to get up out of there. So, because it was a drive. Ooh, I still feel it in my body. And I haven't been to the gym. I've been walking. I didn't walk yesterday. I don't know if I'll get a walk in today. If I do, I don't know when I'll be able to get a walk in today. I tell you, this is a run with the wolves. And I couldn't get up early enough to go on walks. My body was just like, And I feel it. I think I'm back in the gym tomorrow, I think. think that's the goal. We'll see. Oof. Eesh. Back in the gym. So we'll get there, baby. We'll make it do what it do. Because God knows. Oh, we gotta do it. What else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something that I can't remember what I wanted to bring. Oh, there's a little controversy growing with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Uh, he was on I don't know, the Good Morning CBS show with Gayle King, and his latest book, The Message, is pushing back uh, on apartheid in any form. So I guess the Jewish co-host felt like, he's challenging Israel's right to exist. And I'm with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Israel exists. But what has created is an apartheid state. I don't care. Here's the thing, and this is what I want my Jewish sisters and brothers to understand. We are not saying Israel should, no one is saying Israel should not exist. Your enemies, y'all got enemies. We ain't one of them. All right? Black people ain't one of them. Nowhere on the planet is black people the enemy of Jewish people. So let's start with that, number one. We're not trying to do you in. We ain't never tried to do you in. As a matter of fact, we stood in solidarity because we understand how it feels to be killed. So your beef ain't with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Your beef is with white people and other white people who ain't feeling you. But it ain't us. And so when he says, I'm not for apartheid in any form by anybody under any circumstances, you got to be able to hear that and be like, yeah. Because I'm going to tell you right now, what is described as happening in Palestine is apartheid. Now, you can get mad for it being called apartheid because this is wherever y'all are. But we don't know. We know what apartheid is because we done seen it firsthand in South Africa and in other parts of the world. We don't like it. We didn't like it then. We don't like it now. So if somebody calls it out, it's not, and all you hear is we don't want you to exist, then you need to examine what that is about because that's a false narrative. I'm going to tell you right now, Jewish sisters and brothers, we're not trying to do you in. We are not your enemies. We ain't never been your enemies. So don't get ruffled up with us. Get ruffled up with the white folks who helped you create this foolishness. Now, that's all I'm gonna say. And listen, come at me with anti-Semitism if you want to. It is not true. I'm not anti-Semitic. I am pro-human. And I believe that everybody has the right to be and exist in all the freedoms that anyone and everyone should have. That's it. That's it. I don't got no dog in the Jewish fight. I don't have a dog in that fight. But I do know something about humanity. And I do know something about history. And I do know that you cannot oppress people for your own end. That's it. That's it. That's where I'm at. I'm going to say that to anybody. So don't come at me with, you don't think Israel should exist. Israel exists. What I think is neither here nor there. I'm not a decision maker on that. Y'all have decided. They have decided. Y'all have been there since 1943 or whatever it was. You are there. That's your homeland. Cool. But it is also the land of the Palestinian people. And we cannot disregard that. You cannot erase that. You cannot wipe that off the planet. So I know people will hear this and think I'm being like, what, taking a side. I'm taking the side of humanity. That's the side I'm on. I'm on humanity. I'm on the side of humanity. And if you can't hear that, then you need to check yourself. Because I'm not suggesting harm come to Jewish people. What the hell is wrong with people? I don't suggest that for anybody. I just know that what is happening cannot continue to happen. I know that you can't keep killing people. I know the bomb ceasefire has to stop. I say that about Ukraine. I say it about the Congo. I say it about the Sudan. I say it about any place where people are being hurt, killed, and are collateral damage in ish that they didn't create and sign up for. Somebody's got to speak on behalf of people who just want to live their lives. They just want to go about earning a decent pay for a decent labor of work, raise their families, have food on the table. But they are being harmed and killed as pawns in some larger political foolishness. So that's what I'm saying. So come at me if you want to, but I'm gonna stand on what's right. That's it. So apartheid in any shape, by anybody, anywhere, is wrong. You can't just be like, oh, is this wrong when white folks in Africa was doing it to black Africans? It's the same thing. Israel can't do the same thing. And so Ta-Nehisi, when he went over there, he's talking about his experiences and what he experienced walking in Palestine. And these people can't walk down the streets, and they gotta have papers and all this other kind of stuff. And put the light of day on it, put the light of truth on it, and let the world see it. If it's so, if you think this is right, then what's the problem? If you think this is right and you stand on that, then why are you mad? Why are you mad if people call it out? Because you know it's wrong. It's wrong. So I'm not on no side. I'm on the side of humanity. I don't want to see nobody harmed. I want to see everybody live free and prosper. What? Come on now. We got to stop this stuff. Seriously. We got to stop it. I want everybody to thrive on the planet. I want to see every child grow up. I want to see clean water in every place. I want to see shelter everywhere. I want to see women have full rights and equality. I want that everywhere. I'm not going to cherry pick and choose, well, those people deserve it and those people don't. No. Come on. We have come too far in the world, in the history of the world, to still exhibit inhumanity toward sisters and brothers. We have come too far on the humanity totem pole. We've learned a thing or two. We've come through wars, 1 and 2 in Vietnam and all this other stuff in Afghanistan and every kind of war imaginable. And we are still willing to kill people for what? You can justify anything. I think that's what we're doing. But why can't we justify humanity? It's just unconscionable. Humans are unconscionable. We're just not good stewards of the earth. We're just not. And maybe we ought to be extinct, to go the way of the dinosaurs. Maybe a meteor just ought to just like poof, and just take us all out, and let life begin again in another iteration. Because we're doing a good job of not being good stewards of this earth and not being good to each other. Can you imagine what the world would look like if we gave peace a chance all over the world? Like if we just said everybody has the right to be free. Everybody will have access to good health care and good schools and good housing. Imagine if we just said everybody on the planet will be taken care of and loved. Imagine. Fix your brain to sort of say, imagine if I could go anywhere I want and not be afraid as a black person and as a woman. Imagine a world like that. Imagine a world where children could be free and not have any harm come to them by anybody at any time. That they could roam the earth free And wherever they go, somebody is looking out for them because we belong to each other. Because each child is my child and my child is their child. And there's no distinction. And what one child has, the other child has. Imagine a world like that. Imagine I don't have to sit in silence if my neighbor is suffering. That I could go next door and extend a cup of whatever that they need. Imagine that. Imagine schools are filled with interesting books and teachers happily and readily to teach all the things in the universe. Imagine that good food is served all the time and abundantly. Imagine if churches threw open their doors and said, "Welcome" to anybody who walks by, regardless of any differences perceived or unseen. Imagine that kind of world where if someone says, "You know what? I've never been in a Catholic church. Let me go and see what it's about." And the doors open wide and they could come and smell the frankincense and myrrh and hear the bells and all the things and hear the voices lifted. Imagine I could walk past a synagogue and the doors are thrown open and they say, "Come, sit, hear the Torah, sing with us." Imagine if we could have that kind of world every day. Imagine I walk out my door and there's a market in my neighborhood filled with fresh vegetables and clean meat and all the things that I could make good food for my family at a price that doesn't make me choose between that and medicine. Why can't we imagine that, bring it to fruition? Why are we willing to accept hardship and dehumanization and war and rape and trafficking and endangerment and starvation and unhoused homelessness, violence? Why are we willing? Why do we accept that? Why are we not building bridges to eradicate all these things that keep us from being our higher selves? I want to live in a world like that. I want to live in a world where when I say hi to my neighbors, they look up and say hi back. I want to live in a world where when I sit on my porch, my neighbors sit on the porch too, and we wave. How you doing? You good? I want to live in a world where there's a little library in front of my house and little kids, all kinds of kids, can race to it and be like, "I wonder what's in there today. I wonder what book is in there today. I wonder what stories are in there today." I want to live in that world. I want to live in a world where young people don't have to create a subset of a culture to be seen and heard and appreciated and respected. I want them to walk down the street and we as adults of any shade and in every hue see them and smile and greet them. And maybe stop them and ask, "How are you?" I want to live in that kind of world. I want to live in that kind of world. I want to live in that kind of world where if I go to work and he goes to work, we are of equal pay. I want to live in a world that if I choose to bring children into the world, there is a willingness and a readiness to be concerned about my health and to help me bring beautiful life into the world safely. I also want to live in a world that if I want to make the decision not to carry a baby into this world at this particular time, I want all the necessary health care procedures at the ready for me, without judgment, without harm. I want to live in that kind of world. That's the kind of world that I live in. I want to live in the kind of world when I walk down the street and I see flowers and not bodies huddled under bridges and in places. I want to live in a world where if someone sees somebody unhoused and they say, let me tell you about a place you could go where you can rest and eat and shower and get fresh clothes. I want to live in that world. That's the world. That's the world I want to live in. Why aren't we working on that world? I want to live in a world where housing is not for some, but for all. Why can't we live in that world? If we could build a world of our progress, why aren't we building that world? What needs to happen to build that world? It can't just be a dream. Why are we so willing to settle for so less? Why are we so willing to step outside of humanity? Why are we so willing to pick up arms? Why are we so willing to ban books but not assault type rifles? We just sound crazy. Why are we not willing to feed kids in school? Why are we like, oh, you have a bill on your lunch bill, and so therefore you have to have a cheese sandwich. And we're doing this to children. Why? I want to know why. What could possibly happen if you feed these children like all the other children who have paid? What do you think that they're getting something that they don't deserve? Why? Why is that the case? Because I, as a trained chef, it has come through. So you would rather do something else to point out difference rather than just create harmony and say all the children here will eat, regardless of their economic situation. All the children. It's like we're in the business of breaking hearts and breaking souls. And then when they're broken, we stand up and say, oh, I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we have disconnected youth. For the life of me, I don't understand what these young people are doing. Because we started breaking down and breaking them and breaking their hearts and breaking their spirits and breaking their brains from a very early age. We've been doing it. And we are still doing it. And then we think we could do repair damage on the other side. And if we don't, we just like, well, lock them up. And then I get word that somebody wants to build the leadership in this city. And I could be wrong. This might just be whispering. Want to build a detention center in this city. A damn detention center. I don't I don't know how much imagination it takes to build a detention center, but I'll bet it's very little. A detention center. Why on God's earth would we want a detention center for children in this city? It's like we want to further the school to prison pipeline. So rather than use all the intellectual capital that we have of this great city to tackle the issues that are plaguing our young people, we think the idea is to build a detention center somewhere to what? Warehouse them and contain them? Because that's what a detention center is, to detain. For how long? And who's getting detained? And and will it be filled with black and brown children solely? If we have a problem, then why don't we work to solve the problem, not work to patch the problem? I don't, why are we doing that? That's the, we need some artists at the table. I need artists to run for office. That's it. I need artists to run for office and help think about these issues of the day with an eye toward creativity through a creative lens. I want that kind of world. I want that kind of world. I don't understand why we're, you know what, we need artists to rise up. We need artists to just, musicians and everybody to just walk through the streets and say we demand a better world. We need like a New Orleans second line to just sweep through the cities across this world and say, you know what? We've done it this way. Now we're gonna do it creatively. We gonna think creatively. We're gonna see these problems through an artistic lens. If children are hungry, why don't we feed them? So why don't we just put a big kitchen in the square and just run it around the clock so people can just eat? What's the problem? What is the problem? We just open it 24 hours and just feed people so that no one is ever hungry. Does that sound silly? No more silly than dropping bombs on people. Bombs ain't good for nobody. They're not even good for the earth. So we would rather destroy than to build up. Why? Why are we willing to do that? Why don't these people who are whining about the borders go and set up kitchens at the border? Start feeding people and hearing why they're running from where they are. And then maybe we have conversations with those places where they're running from and what is going on there and what needs to happen to shore up so that their people don't have to run. You know, and who's arming cartels? Somebody is arming cartels. Somebody is arming them. Are there gun factories in Mexico and South America and places? Are there? And if there's an appetite for drugs, why? Why is there appetite for drugs? Who benefits? Who benefits from the cartels? Where else does the money go? What other economies are bolstered by cartels? And cartels is money laundering, human trafficking, drugs, numbers, all the vices. We know the vices. Whose appetite are they feeding? Why? Are we interested in that? Maybe we need to deal with the appetite for these things. You know, when people are trafficked, who is buying them? Who is buying people? Who is buying children? Who's doing that? What's the profit margin? Who's making money off children being trafficked for sexual exploitation? Who is profiting off of that? And who is looking the other way? Do you know what I mean? Like, why are we asking those questions and getting to the heart of those questions? Listen, I'm not at the Pentagon. I'm not in law enforcement. I'm not sitting at the tables. Maybe they are having these conversations. But it seems to me if you're having those conversations, then you got to have conversations with other people who can help eradicate. Because this can't solely be a world policing problem without some other advocacy at play. And I know there are advocacy organizations, but they're always underfunded. How about if we fund those things to the max and see if we can make some real inroads into uh, curtailing the desire for all these things. I mean, we got the time, we got the money. Why don't we just use it? Why is it better to just keep having these wars on things? War on poverty, war on drugs, war on women, war on books, war on the environment. Yeah, we just keep having wars. I don't know. And I see pockets of people fighting to keep humanity at the forefront and centered in communities. I see it. I see it in this community, you know, with all the violence. You know, Newhartville is the most heavily surveilled community in the city. But I see pockets of people gardening and talking to their neighbors. We Christmas carol over here. This will be year 3 or year 4 or year 3. We Christmas caroling. You know, we porching. We sitting out. We walk in the neighborhood. We saying hi to our neighbors. You know, we pushing back against the narrative that this is uninhabitable and dangerous and not safe. We pushing back on that narrative. So I dream of a world, you know. So, you know, who's that? Oh, which son, which daughter? Just kidding. Don't say your mother is stupid.
Okay, you said.
Yeah, that's better. Does Gregor got some clothes?
No, I'm waiting for my check to come. I'm gonna get a shirt.
At this point,
some shoes,
I'm just like.
Margo, go get him a shirt. I'll send you some money right now.
Shoes? You need shoes?
You got blonde?
No, your eyes are blonde.
Their eyes are blonde.
Here, take him shopping right now. What do you need?
Shirt and shoes.
I think I'm gonna put my bike uniform pants.
That's fine. You have shoes?
No, I just need to get some shoes and like the shirt.
Well, where you gonna get shoes at? Go to Kohl's or somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You want to button up some clothes?
Yeah.
Well, let's go so you can get back taking that shower.
Here, I'm gonna send this to you. $200.
We're not gonna use
You're not gonna use all that. I'll send it back.
I don't.
I'll keep it actually.
But whatever I use, I get paid literally like.
That's fine. You just give it back to me. Yeah, see, you know, live radio is live radio. Gotta do all you gotta do. Listen, it is what it is. So, anyway, I'm about to take a break. You should make me a cup of coffee, really. I probably could use a cup of coffee to wake me up. Not to wake me up. I feel awake. I think I slept harder than I thought. I woke up, and I wake up around 4-ish. And then I was like, oh, I'm still awake a little bit. And then I did go back to sleep, and I was like, because it was a nice chill in the room. I sleep better when there's like a good chill in the room. So it's a good chill. So I was like, all right, a nice chill. Well, we'll see what happens. It's a day, it's a day, it's a day, it's a day. But it's October 1st, and I'm actually delighted by that. So, bring on the pumpkins. I've got marigold. What do you call them? Mums. I got mums growing on the porch. Yellow ones, because they're so bright, colorful. And I bought them a couple of weeks ago when they weren't even budding, you know. And now they're starting to burst with color, which is really nice. So I've got mums on the porch. And my little summer plant is still growing strong. It's still green, and the flowers are still blossoming. I think some things I'm going to have to bring in the house. My other little plant, I'm going to have to bring it in. So I'll do that because I think it might be too cold for it to be outside. So I'll bring it in, see if I can get some sun for it in the house. And that's the way of the world. So I will be back. Janina's gonna play some music or whatever. Doreen is gonna play some music, and I'll be back in a little bit. Be back at 10:15. We'll talk some more. Oh, I love that. That used to be the theme song.